Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Kylecast. Oh man, I'm sitting here. I got like a pounding headache for some reason. Been going on all day. I don't know. I think I need a damn multivitamin or maybe some water or something. But yeah, I just want to come on here real quick. Just doing a little chit chat here. I want to talk about one of my favorite things of all time. One of my favorite things that I discovered more recently. Might be a better way to put it, but it's RoboCop, the movie and the franchise and the character. I really like RoboCop, one of the reasons why I want to talk about this real quick is because there is a new game coming out. It's a standalone expansion to a game that released somewhat recently, within the last 2 years, I believe. RoboCop Rogue City, I think came out in 2022, I think. And they're releasing a standalone expansion, so it's going to be kind of like a DLC, kind of like a new game. Sort of like if you remember Far Cry Blood Dragon, how that was kind of like its own thing, but also a DLC for Far Cry 3. That's what they're doing with this. It's going to be a standalone expansion for RoboCop Rogue City. They're calling it Unfinished Business. It looks really cool. I really liked that game they came out with, so I was glad. I was actually really surprised, first of all, to see that we got anything else RoboCop coming out, but just really pleasantly surprised to see that. And I'll just mention right now that one of the reasons why I was so surprised to see that we were getting more RoboCop stuff is that, to be quite honest with you, that franchise is nowhere near as popular as it once was. And there's a lot of other movie franchises that came out around the same time, in like the golden age of, just really, I don't know, 80s cool, badass movies, Terminator, Alien, RoboCop, stuff like that. Well, for example, like Predator, like Predator, Alien, Terminator. These are all movies that were, big pop culture bombs in the 80s that stuck and lasted, and they kept making more movies and more movies. And some of them weren't good, but they kept making them, and they kept doing games and different stuff, Well, RoboCop's like in that same category, but almost like it's not as successful for some reason. They did those 3 movies in the original run, RoboCop 1, 2, and 3, and then they did that remake. I think it was like 2016, I think. I might be wrong about that. But they did that remake a couple years back, and they did some cartoons. They did a TV show or two, but in recent years, like, there's not been much of anything going on with the RoboCop franchise. They might have done some comic books or something somewhat recently. I don't really remember. I was looking at this the other day. But, and that might sound like not too bad, but look at the other franchises, like I said, Predator, Alien, Terminator. These are franchises that, are cut from the same cloth, pretty much. And they have always been popular. They've always been, just like really big everywhere, and RoboCop is fantastic. Not every piece of RoboCop media is the best, and I'll just say that right away. But you could say the same thing about any of these other franchises that I just mentioned. RoboCop 3 was not successful. It was not good, but neither was Terminator 3, neither was Alien 3, and yet we consider these to be very successful franchises that just keep going. And I'm also not coming on here to make like a eulogy about RoboCop, how RoboCop's done or anything like that, because clearly it's not. They're making a new game, new games coming out. But it's just one of the only pieces of RoboCop media that we've gotten in a while, which I think is almost like a shame because of how good the story is and the characters and the setting. And yeah, I'm just coming on here to talk about about my love of this movie. The first RoboCop movie, the first one that they did, is just fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I had just watched it somewhat recently, last year, and I was watching a lot of sci-fi, dystopian, kind of like cyberpunk-esque movies, and I decided that RoboCop was going to be one of them because I'd never seen it, and I was just so pleasantly surprised by it. You know, being that it came from that kind of era of like action heroes and stuff, I was really expecting it to be kind of dumb and mindless, but instead I was just so pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed it and how in-depth it was and how it dealt with a lot of stuff. And, you know, I'm not here to really review the movie or talk so much about the plot. If you haven't seen that first movie, I highly recommend you do. But it just amazed me, like, how good it was for being so old and coming from the kind of time period where, you know, you had action, like mindless action hero type stuff going on. And RoboCop just felt to me like it was so much more than that, like it meant so much more. And I've seen the second movie. The second movie was not as good as the first one, but it is a good movie objectively. I think that it, you know, the first one is just so good. The second one has a hard time being as impactful, I feel. They do some silly stuff, but I would definitely pair them together as being two good movies to watch. I have not seen the third one. The third one's the one that gets all of the flack that they say is so bad. I just have not gotten to that point yet, but I want to. It's on the list of movies to watch. And there was that remake that they did a couple years back. I have seen most of the remake, but not all of it, because I remember whenever that came out. And it's just, you know, the third movie in that remake is what I want to watch. Even though those aren't really considered to be the best of the franchise, I still want to watch them because I like the franchise. And I was just really surprised, first of all, to see that there was a new RoboCop game that had come out, you know, not that long ago. And Rogue City, I own it on the Xbox. It's for current gen, next gen-esque consoles like your Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, PC. And it's one of the reasons, I'll be dead ass with you, why I got the new Xbox. I had been saving up for it, and I have a PC, but I really wanted to play it on up-to-date hardware, and it's a really cool game. I love that game. And they're making that sequel for it, which is pretty cool, but it just means a lot to me as someone that likes that franchise. That just doesn't seem like it gets a lot of attention, you know, that I think it deserves, that I feel that it deserves. So I'm just very glad to kind of see that. You know, I think it's pretty neat. But yeah, I mean, I've heard different things that, you know, they might do some more RoboCop stuff. You know, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to see a franchise that I feel like has so much potential and just kind of sit around in limbo. But clearly somebody is recognizing, you know, it for what it is, and is still trying to put some stuff out, which is very appreciated. But yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, want to talk about that real quick. Something kind of small, something kind of, stupid. For me, RoboCop is definitely like a literally me character. The way that a lot of people treat, like Batman or Ryan Gosling in every movie he's in, you know. I watch that first movie and I feel like he's me, you know. And there's so much to be said, excuse me, so much that could be said about that first movie. It has so much religious undertones, you know. RoboCop is really about one of mankind's greatest fantasies, greatest power fantasies, which is overcoming death and living and getting revenge on those who have wronged you. And that's a theme that can be found in, you know, a lot of human art since the beginning of time. But it just takes that to the next level, I feel like. And man, it's just so powerful. I just really like it, you know. It's just such a good movie, you know. So yeah, if you get a chance, you haven't checked out that franchise, I'd highly recommend it. To go watch yourself a little bit of RoboCop. Go play the game. Rogue City, it's out on everything pretty much. Unfinished Business is coming out soon. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. I apologize. I haven't done a lot of research. I'm just speaking from the heart, which is what I do. But yeah, man, it's just fucking awesome. It's just awesome seeing that stuff come out. I love this guy. I love RoboCop. Shout out RoboCop. I feel like him. If I ever get like that 5G Neuralink in my brain, that'd be pretty awesome. That would be pretty cool. I am for sure looking forward to that. And also if I get like a big ass gun, I'm, go out and arrest people, dead or alive, you're coming with me type shit. But yeah, I'm gonna let you, off on that note, of something that I really, really like and really enjoy, something I think more people should be looking into. Movies in the 80s are just awesome. I'll be honest with you. I mean, not everything is good just on the fact that it's old. That's definitely not the case. But man, it's just like, what are the odds that all these movies that came out in the 80s are just awesome? Man, if only I was a kid in the 80s. I'd be smoking Marlboro Reds and playing with damn Transformers every day. What a life I missed out on.